Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
And welcome everybody to the championship. It's the SFL here on Next Level Sports. I'm Ethan Muslin. To my right, I've got two weirdos over here. Mike St. Green and Tyler Falk. This is probably the worst case of Hollywood Squares you could ever have. But it is down to game 179, Championship Saturday, 19th SFL Championship coming up in just a few minutes. It's Baltimore taking on Arizona, and Arizona's got to feel really good about getting into this title game. They haven't been here since season 2, back when they were in Oklahoma City. I mean, Baltimore, well, I mean, we all know it's Baltimore. They've been here for eons and eons since their inception, but you know, both squads got to feel real good going in tonight. I want to start with Mike. What do you think was the key towards Arizona getting back into the title game for the first time in a long time?
3 words: balance, balance, and more balance. I mean, this team offensively, they've been perfectly balanced all season long under the leadership of quarterback Ashley Jackson. She's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league this season. And then when she's not getting things done through the air, they turn to the running back, DJ Moses. He's been spectacular as well, 7th in the league in rushing. And he's been a key part as to why this team is able to keep the chains moving and get first downs and in turn score points and win games.
Absolutely. Tyler, we know Baltimore's been here many times before. I've got myself the ring as well. We'll show that a little later on, but is there a weakness to Baltimore? Can Arizona find something to exploit, to be able to punch through and be able to score points against this Baltimore defense?
It's possible. We've seen it this past season with Motor City, and not too long ago, back in season 18, Arizona did take down Baltimore in the regular season. So they've done it before. They have been able to shut down Baltimore and be able to make something happen. They're going to have to do it today. It's the first time since season 2 that Arizona's been here in the big game. And after season 2, in that Oklahoma City iteration, partner, they were under 500 all the way up until when Eddie Gage took over the program and brought the Oklahoma City franchise into Arizona. It's going to be a banner day for Arizona. This is a monumental step in the terms of where this franchise has been able to come. As far as Baltimore goes, it's not necessarily finding a weakness, but making sure you don't make a single mistake. Baltimore has been able to win championship games in various fashions, via special teams, defensive plays, and most recently last season with the return of Warren Murray, a hat trick and touchdowns in the big championship game. He was the workhorse that game, not Jack Whitmore, who barely had over 200 passing yards. It's going to take an entire team effort from both squads to be victorious here this afternoon.
You're absolutely right about that. Looking at the stats from the last few seasons, Baltimore has been a top 5 team ever since their inception, all the way back to season 11. They have always been a top 5 performer. Arizona's only been in the top 5 this time. I mean, barely in the top 5, really. They're 6th in the league on offense and defense. And you're absolutely right about that. Takeaways are going to be the big factor here. Baltimore has a turnover differential of 17. Arizona's only got a +5, so you have a major gap you've got to overcome. And that's going to lead me to another bit here. The stars of this game, there are so many of them on both sides for Arizona and for Baltimore. Who do you guys think is going to be the person who has to stand out in order for their team to win? Mike, let's start with you.
Well, for Arizona, I'm going to go out and say a couple of players are going to have to stand out, and that's going to be the receiving core as a whole. Connor Weston, Ryan Owens, and TJ Pump. These guys are going to have to stand out, make plays on third down, keep the chains moving, keep what Arizona's been doing all season long, that number 1 in the league, 67%, third down rate, move the chains, control the clock, and not only cash those drives in, if they get there, cash them in with touchdowns and not field goals.
Tyler, how about you? Do you got any X factors you're thinking of for either side?
Well, since Mike took Arizona, I'll go ahead and take Baltimore. And I think you got to go no further than that defensive front four. Number one in sacks, number one in tackles for loss this season. And they're going to have a tough time getting to Ashley Jackson here today because just like their own quarterback, who's tied for first in least sacks given up, Ashley Jackson's not too far behind in third with the amount of sacks that she's only been able to have suffered. So it's that defensive front four who's been able to demonstrate time and time again this season that I'm looking for to make the biggest impact for the Vultures today.
That's a really good insight on that. So we're coming into this. We're only a few minutes away from kickoff. Jack State has got it at a -3.5 in favor of Baltimore. They've got them winning it by 3 at the very least. The over/under right now is 62.5. And we've been wondering about it for about a week now. So it's going to come down to 3 simple words, guys. Who you got?
I'll go ahead and start. Let's start with the over. I think this is going to go over 62.5. Both teams that have great defense, of course. That great defensive line of Baltimore, as Tyler just mentioned. I think they're going to be a factor in this game. But I just think both teams offensively, they're so efficient, they're so balanced. It's going to be tough for either defense to really gain any foothold. So I see it going over. But I'm going to lean with my buddies over in Arizona. I think they're going to cover the 3.5, and if not, win the game outright.
All right, Tyler, what are you thinking?
Well, the SFL community has Arizona. Mike St. Green has Arizona. Now, I don't know if that's because Eddie Gage was the analyst from last season's championship game, or if he's got some just maybe a little favor he's got to give Eddie Gage for. And with all due credit, Eddie Gage and Arizona have done a monumental job this season. But Baltimore has not lost a single championship game when they've played in one since season 11. It's going to be extremely tough for Arizona. I'm going the opposite of Mike St. Green in every facet. It's going to be an under. Expect a close battle. Expect a less than a 3-point battle in the favor of the Vultures.
All right, and then I guess that leaves yours truly to pick it. And just in case you need full disclosure, I'm just going to go put that out there. There's your proof that I don't have a bias in this fight, or trying not to have a bias in this fight. But I think you guys are absolutely right. This is going to be a good close battle. Both teams are very good in preventing points and scoring points. I think this is, like I said, it's going to come down to the wire. I think there's going to be a mistake made somewhere along the line that Baltimore is going to exploit, and I think that's going to be the key for them to win. I've got Baltimore winning by 6, and they're gonna get the under. I think it's going to be like 54 points. But the only way we'll find out which one of us is right and which one of us looks foolish is to have the game happen, and that's going to be coming up in just a couple of minutes. Oh, this is going to be exciting. I know we're all happy for it. Scorpions, Vultures for the title coming up next here on Next Level Sports.
It took a lot to get here. What would it mean to win it? All the late nights, all the agony. Watching from afar, fate taken from you. But you've made it through. There's only two left standing. Will you rise to the occasion? Or get taken out by the gods? We're here to find out. Welcome to the 19th SFL Championship game. Arizona and Baltimore. You've done well, but 44 more minutes are required. Their legacies are on the line. How will they be remembered? Many have tried, but the ultimate dynasty flies high above, picking off one carcass at a time. Piece by piece, they feast. On the ground, a different kind of strike is looming. An underdog, full of dogs, ready for their moment. The Vultures attack their fourth title today. The Scorpions can taste their first. The Arizona Scorpions. The Baltimore Vultures. How will you be remembered? Let's find out. Time to eat. Time to kick it. Make an impact. Welcome to Baltimore Sports Gamers Online Stadium for today's Season 19 championship between the Baltimore Vultures and the Arizona Scorpions. Welcome inside the stadium, where tonight a new champion will be crowned along with Brett Solberg. I'm Cameron Irvine. Rochelle Colston, Justin Reside, Zach Holdorf on stats. Brett, welcome to Primetime, the biggest stage, Game 179 here in Season 19.
Man, is this what extra spotlights feel like? I haven't been anywhere closer than the semifinals at this point. This is amazing. Wow, and you're talking about two teams that have been so well performed on both sides of the football to get to this game. Both teams well deserved to get in. The Baltimore Vultures looking to solidify their dynasty, and for Arizona, the Scorpions, their first time around, let's get Eddie Gage a championship victory. Has to be the mantra in their heads right now. Gotta be exciting all around, Cam. This is gonna be fun.
Arizona's first championship game in the Scorpions era and first in the franchise since Season 2. It is an SFL record for the longest drought. Between two championship game appearances, Arizona defers to the second half, and we'll see the Baltimore offense first. We are ready. Arizona, the 5 seed, the lowest seed to ever make an SFL championship game against the Dynasty, the 2-time defending champs and 3-time champion Baltimore Vultures. Cliff Allen has the ball on the tee and a hand in the air. We're all ready. Kick it. Let's go. Season 19 championship game. On the return, Ivory Irvin, who had 2 returns last week, and he'll be cut down at the 23-yard line. And let's meet the Baltimore offense.
Jack Wigmore, quarterback, Arlington, Virginia.
Warren Murray, halfback, Boston, Mass.
T. Roy Gaines, fullback, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Ivory Irvin, wide receiver, Manassas, Virginia.
Daly Holder, wide receiver, New York City.
Mac Chama, wide receiver from the District of Columbia.
DJ Bandit, tight end, Azle, Texas.
Lloyd Graham, number 83, tight end, Sacramento, California. Let's go, Vultures.
Shark Tarkington, kicker, Logansport, Indiana.
Led, of course, by Jack Wigmore, Brett.
Yeah, and Jack Wigmore is probably been the guy, the poster child for this Baltimore offense. When you think of Baltimore, you think of Jackie Dimes throwing all those touchdowns. Yeah, you see it right on the bottom. 169 touchdowns in his career, all 5 seasons with the Vultures.
Just crossed the 20,000 mark. The first play of the game, the handoff to T. Roy Gaines. He breaks through 2 tackles and gets a pickup of 7 yards. Let's meet that Arizona defense.
Hunter Norland, defensive tackle, the Space Coast.
Sean Big Dog Moore, middle linebacker, Nashville, Tennessee.
The Outlaw J.R. Lawless, linebacker, Tucson, Arizona.
Iverson, Instagram Campbell, cornerback, Norman, Oklahoma.
Parker Thomas, slot cornerback from Fort Thomas, Kentucky, / Cincinnati, Ohio.
Everett Mount Everett Garrison, lockdown corner, North Virginia.
Maurice Lloyd, strong safety in Las Vegas.
Eddie Gage, Hall of Fame strong safety, South Side of Chicago.
And Maurice Lloyd, Brett, not a stranger to the championship games, was in Denver with the Night Wings, the last team to win a title besides Baltimore.
Yeah, you look at the title history there. Baltimore's got 1 in 15, but you're talking about Denver in 16 for Baltimore to get back in season 17 and 18.
Second down and 3 after the 7-yard run from Gaines. Wigmore under center. They'll hand it off to Warren Murray, and Murray is stopped short, a loss of 1. Alex Constantine, one of a few players not featured in the introductions, makes the tackle, and a teammate helps up Murray, who's slow to get up. It'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
And what's been interesting through this playoffs is that I would say the one person that's been shut down in terms of the Baltimore offense has been Warren Murray. 21 carries in a semifinal matchup against Mexico City, only to get 67 yards.
First pass of the day is a flip out to Murray, and Murray cannot make Everett Garrison miss, and that's a 3-and-out for Baltimore on their opening possession.
And that is huge for this Scorpion squad that's looking to make an early impact in this game. We're talking about a Baltimore offense that averages over 35 points a game coming into this championship game, and they can do it from everywhere, both passing and on the ground. Arizona stops them just in 3 plays. Good start to this Arizona defense.
On to punt, Matty Coffins for Baltimore, underrated player on this squad. This is a fair catch from Ryan Owens at the 29-yard line, and let's meet the Arizona offense.
Ashley Jackson, quarterback, originally from Atlanta, now Arizona.
DJ Moses, running back, Omaha, Nebraska.
Ryan Owens, wide receiver, Boston, Massachusetts.
Jay Hayden, wide receiver, Reeltown, Alabama.
Connor Weston, wide receiver, Boston, Massachusetts.
TJ Pont, wide receiver, San Diego, California.
Will Todd, tight end, Rolla, Missouri.
Sean Crooked, tackle, Miami.
Patrick Kelly, guard, Bonner Springs, Kansas.
EJ DeQ, Ashley's bodyguard, Gresham, Oregon. Eddie, Arizona, Luxio.
Cliff Allen, kicker, Tacoma, Washington.
A shout out to All Saints Catholic School helping Cliff Allen with that introduction, Brett.
Man, that's sending me chills down my spine watching these player introductions, and especially with that Cliff Allen introduction, seeing the kids being all happy and celebrating, chanting Arizona. That's got to give you hyped.
30,000 yards for Ashley Jackson, just crossed it last week. 182 touchdowns in her career. First play for Arizona's offense is a handoff to DJ Moses. That's a loss of a yard, and the tackle made by Devin King. Let's meet the rest of the Baltimore defense.
Joe, Big Papa Duncan, defensive end, Baltimore Vultures from Waverly, Tennessee. Let's go, Wake, it's feeding time.
Al Walker, defensive end, Sacramento, California.
Nate Brown, defensive tackle out of Cincinnati, Ohio. 3 titles up, looking for another one.
Saran the Chef Gates the fourth. Defensive lineman, Columbus, Ohio.
Frank Smith, inside linebacker, number 42, College Park, Georgia.
Al Gringo, a.k.a. Alvin Mack, linebacker, Long Beach, California.
Enzo Bull, cornerback, Westtown, New Jersey.
Marvin Hines, cornerback, Rochester, New York.
Ben Stack and Paper, cornerback, repping the 413.
Elijah Wolfview, cornerback, Nigeria.
Giovanni Bolt, free safety, North New Jersey.
Troy Loshaw, Trenton, Ontario, Canada.
Pretty talented defense there, Brett.
Yeah, and it's all led by the chef himself, Saran Yates IV. We're talking about a guy that had 4.5 sacks on the legend, the GOAT, Matt Wilson in the semifinals.
And 6 tackles overall, all of them going for loss, just like that last play did for Arizona's offense. Another handoff to Moses isn't going to get anything either. Maybe a half a yard. We'll set up a 3rd down and 10, and this is one of the biggest matchups of the day, Brett. The 3rd down offense of Arizona versus the 3rd down defense of the Vultures.
You're talking number 1 versus number 5. Arizona's had plenty of opportunities this playoffs alone in 3rd down opportunities. They lead the league at 67%, but Baltimore, 60% of their own.
Jackson with 4 wide receivers, and Jackson will fire it down the field. It is caught down the sideline. Connor Weston over the top of the defense, and a 1st down for Arizona, the first move of the change of the game for either team.
And that's the composure that I've been looking for early in this game from both these quarterbacks. And Ashley Jackson, that is great composure over the outstretched arm of Ben Stack and Paper, getting to her option. Ian Connor Weston had a big game last week, got himself over 110 yards in their victory to get to this title game. And he's looking to get a repeat performance and get Arizona their title.
4 different receivers on this Baltimore team average over 10 yards a catch. Ryan Owens, Jay Hayden, Connor Weston, TJ Punk, all their wide receiving core. 1st down at 10. DJ Moses still looking to get going. This is his best gain of the day. Picks up 8 yards to the 44-yard line. Al Walker and company on the stop.
Yeah, and DJ Moses has really stepped up, especially in these playoffs, both plus 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in both games that I've seen so far from DJ Moses. Fantastic work from him leading into this game. He's been red hot.
Out of the eye, Moses again on 2nd and 2. Breaks a tackle. 1st down to the 38-yard line of Baltimore. Troy Loshaw on the tackle. Arizona getting things going early.
And that's what we've seen a little bit more out of, at least the last 5 or 6 weeks of the season for Arizona. They're not passing the football too much in the early stages of the football game, letting Ashley Jackson kind of ease herself in and not get too many attempts of throwing the football after the first quarter.
1st and 10 of the Baltimore 38. This is the first pass on 1st down for Arizona today. It's a flip out to Moses. He breaks a tackle. He's got a 1st down to the 28. Devin King on the stop, a pickup of 10.
And this is big here for Arizona getting that first drive, and they're starting to make some moves here. That's back-to-back 1st downs now for DJ Moses specifically. They're really eyeing on him, seeing if he can be, the trend starter for this Arizona offense.
I heard a whistle after the play. I'm not sure if anybody went down. Doesn't look like it. Clock's still running, so no problems there. 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 28-yard line. Scorpions again come out in an I formation. Look at that box for Baltimore. 9 in the box.
Jeez.
on this one, and they'll fire it out to Moses. Moses has some space, 25, 20. Moses breaks another tackle, and King wraps him up once again. Devin King very active early. That's a 9-yard pickup for Arizona.
Yeah, that was a clear scare tactic from Baltimore there, sending 9 to the box and only pursuing 4 on the play. Arizona not shaken by it one bit, goes with a simple swing pass, and Moses again playing his part, another 9 yards.
Second and 1 of the 18. Again, Baltimore with a heavy box against this heavy front for Arizona. Old school football out here today. Oh, what a great play by Devin King. This guy's everywhere. Makes a stop in the backfield, 3rd and 2.
And that's just a missed assignment from one of the Arizona receivers. Devin King clearly had his eyes set on Moses at the jump of the football there. Nobody touched him, and that's resulted in that 1-yard loss.
Devin King's second tackle for loss. 3rd down and 2. Jackson fires down the middle, caught inside the 5. Touchdown, wow. Arizona on their opening drive. It's TJ Punk with the score.
And he has been the guy that has put the receiving core on his back essentially for the last month. TJ Punk coming in with key catches in this game. But I got to give credit to Ashley Jackson finding that hole between the linebackers and the safeties. That hole always fluctuates in size, but Baltimore left it wide open out that middle of the field for TJ Punk to go on that crossing post down the middle for an easy score. Arizona, 9 plays, 72 yards you'll see there, and it felt like an easy 72 yards.
3 for 3 through the air for Jackson. Hit Weston, hit Punk, hit Moses a couple of times. And that extra point is up and good. 7-0 Arizona with the early lead on Baltimore. And for the Scorpions, it's a perfect start. Halfway through the first, and Baltimore hadn't moved the chains, Brett.
You're talking about a statement maker there, and this is what Arizona wanted to do. They kind of wanted to score first and set that momentum, because if Baltimore starts getting going, it seems like they can't stop. They're like an everlasting gobstopper.
Allen will kick it away, score matching his number. Ivory Irvin on the return from his goal line. And Irvin breaks off a tackle and then another and gets out to the 25. And that's where Baltimore will set up shop. They got a bunch of weapons on this team, Brett, but Mac Chima, typically their deep threat, and he had a pretty great season.
Yeah, and you're talking about just a balanced attack from this Baltimore Vultures squad. You're talking about 3 receivers at over 50 receptions, and Mac Chima leading the way with 768 and 9 touchdowns that you see there. He's been a big impact player.
Warren Murray off the right side finds some space and picks up a first down. J.R. Lawless and Eddie Gage combine on the stop. Last week, Eddie, after getting hurt 2 weeks in a row, Brett was just unconscious in that victory over the London Knights.
Yeah, you're talking about the last 2 games getting 3 interceptions, and all 3 of those interceptions being key points in Arizona's game and Arizona's way to succeed. You'll see there 3 pass deflections along with that 2 in the last game against London. So it's been great for him, the old man.
And off to Gaines, and Murray was wide open on the flat, but Gaines only able to pick up a couple. Lawless and company in there on the stop. Once more, but we're seeing a lot of balance from both teams early on. Gaines and Murray heavily involved.
Yeah, and it just shows how balanced this attack is for Baltimore. And, going into the season, Warren Murray, 194 carries, and the fullback just not even that far behind him with 113. So they're sharing the rock here.
2nd down and 8. Wigmore to pass. Wigmore fires to a wide open Ivory Irvin to the Arizona 46-yard line. That's a pickup of 16 yards. Everett Garrison, Parker Thomas combined for the stop. First down, Vultures into Arizona territory for the first time today.
And Arizona was really anticipating the deep ball there, as you said, looking for Mac Chima to go deep, but instead they go Ivory Irvin's way on a quick slant that left him open on an 8-yard pass, and he managed to get a little bit of an extra run to get himself that first down. So Arizona's defense, you might have to creep up a little bit here. I don't think Baltimore's playing the deep ball right now.
There has not been an incompletion in this first quarter. Jackson is 4 for 4 for 58 yards. Wigmore's 2 for 2 for 18. 1st and 10 at the Arizona 46. Wigmore changes the play with a receiver outside either side. Goes that way to Chima on the out. Picks up 7 to the 40. And that appears to be Iverson Gamble, but a pick 6 last week in the London game with the stop.
Yeah, and, the interceptions were the story for Arizona, forcing Johnny Pickler to throw 6 interceptions. And Johnny Pickler had a fantastic and efficient season, so seeing 6 picks from him in the semifinals was very unorthodox.
Heavy set here. Murray, the lone back, flanks out to the right, gets a catch from Wigmore, breaks a tackle, has a first down. Both running backs looking fresh out there early. Eddie Gage with the stop, but now it's Baltimore on a blood-sucking drive.
Yeah, and it looks like this time here for Baltimore's approach is that they're looking to suck the clock, like you said, like a vampiric vulture, I guess you could say. And they're not really looking to go for the deep option. Here we go at 5 receivers set here, so they might go deep on this play.
First and 10 of the 33. Wigmore is going long. It is caught by Irvin, and it's a Baltimore touchdown over the top of the defensive Everett Garrison, and the Vultures are an extra point away from tying the game.
And that was just a quick corner route as well. You could see Irvin getting open, and the 2 receivers on the bottom for sure were going deep, and it was all dependent on if Wigmore was going to play conservative or aggressive, but he wanted it all on that throw. And yeah, you can see just a step behind was the corner there, and Eddie Gage couldn't catch up to him, unfortunately, and that is a quick response for the Vultures.
Man, oh man, Brett, this has been one heck of a quarter. Both teams razor sharp. Quarterbacks that combined 9 for 9 for 119 yards. And they're just doing whatever they want out there so far. That extra point was nearly blocked, but the extra point is good. And we're at 7-7. We'll take a break. 2:58 to go in the first quarter. You're watching the SFL's 19th championship game presented by APM Music, only on Next Level Sports. Lone possession. And Brett, we'll see what Baltimore's defense does with it.
Yeah, now it's time for Arizona offensively. I think it's time to settle down a little bit here. See if they can get some smart runs from DJ Moses. Utilize the stretch run. Baltimore, I would say their one weakness defensively is that they allow a lot of yards on stretch runs. So I would say get to Moses a little bit more here at the end of the quarter.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. 2:52 to go in the first quarter. And that pass is caught by Connor Weston up to the 39-yard line. 32 yards on 2 catches. And a first down for Arizona.
Yeah, and again, quarterbacks remaining perfect here. Now both 5 for 5 on their pass completions here. This one going to Connor Weston on a quick slant. And again, just leaving themselves wide open. This time, Baltimore playing too close, and that led to Weston just beating Stack and Paper again. Second time in this quarter being beat. So Stack and Paper needs to, shore things up here a little bit more.
1st and 10 at the 39, 4 wide for Arizona. They threw a corner on this route earlier to Weston. Jackson's in trouble. Hit as she threw, was going that way again, but the pressure finally gets to Jackson. Nate Brown applying among others, and this is the best D-line in the league, no question.
Yeah, and we're talking about a Nate Brown that is, so quietly dominant. Like, you think, 9 sacks and 11 tackles for loss in the season, it shades behind Saron Yates. But for any other team, they would call that their MVP defensive player.
2nd and 10 on the first incomplete pass of the game. 4 wide again for Jackson. They've bailed on Moses a bit on this drive and going the wrong way. That's a 4-yard loss. Baltimore bumps TJ Punk off his route. And that'll set up a 3rd and long for Arizona, not the start they wanted on their second possession.
And that was just perfectly covered by all defensive backs from the Baltimore squad, so that Ashley Jackson had to throw essentially on a makeshift check down option to TJ Punk, and he ended up running backwards just trying to avoid tackles, and there you go, 4-yard loss. Now it's a 3rd and very long.
3rd and 14. 1:50 to go in the first. Same look we saw on first down. Pressure got to Jackson. 5-man rush against a blitz. Great protection. Jackson deep. It is caught at the 35-yard line by Weston. What a dime and a better catch from 83.
Early highlight plays from Connor Weston to establish what kind of game we're going to see in the 19th SFL championship here, Cam. And look at the athleticism from Connor Weston, about 2 yards overthrown, and he manages to negate that space by a fantastic leaping catch.
How about E.J. DeQ, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line. Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they bite him for a touchdown.
Unbelievable work. And it seemed like you had a premonition coming from it by mentioning the offensive line. Lawless, Crooked, and the whole offensive line did their part. Look at the key blocking here, and it came from everyone on the Arizona offense to give Moses the space, and once he had enough space, the engines and the fire was ready to go, and he was going down the sidelines. Quicker than quick response from the Scorpions, 13-7.
That man got thrown down. I was trying to see who that was that laid the block, couldn't tell who the man was on the ground, probably for the best. DJ Moses, 49 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown in this early first quarter. And that kick is up and good, and it is 14-7. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Arizona in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's usually what we see out of Baltimore here, but Arizona bringing in their big boy pants tonight. They know this is the brightest lights at the biggest stage. And how about this at Sports Gamers Online Stadium, a stadium where the home team has only lost 6 times ever. Big statement.
And never to Arizona, never to the same team twice. From the 2-yard line, Irvin on the return. A little bit of a lighter kick there from Allen. They've been doing a pretty good job containing Irvin so far. Gets out to the 27-yard line, and it's time for Wigmore to go back to work. He's still a perfect 5 for 5, 61 yards.
Yeah, now shifting over to the Baltimore offense. We have to remember, 2.5 minutes was all Baltimore needed to score some points. Can they use the last 109 in this first quarter to make their immediate response?
First and 10 to the Baltimore 27-yard line. 3 receivers, 2 to the top of the screen. Wigmore dropping back to pass, fires down the middle of the field. Just in time, the pass is caught by Holder, who actually led all receivers on this team in receptions, not including anyone in the backfield.
Yeah, with 54 receptions, but he was their short option. He's the guy with the third lowest average of reception on there with 9.7. The other receivers higher than him are usually in that 15-plus range, especially Irvin and Chima. Those are your deep options, and Holder has been the reliable one to establish the passing game.
Maurice Lloyd on that tackle, career-high 8 interceptions this season, 9 passes defended, 74 tackles for loss for this defense. Handoff to Gaines. Gaines is wrapped up pretty quick by Hunter Norwood after pickup of 1. Norwood now, Brett, one of just 2 players with 200 TFLs in league history.
Yeah, and he's looking to chase himself along with Taquan Hale in the sack department, and he's still got a long ways to go before he's going to reach Big Sexy on top of that leaderboard for tackles for loss.
2nd and 9 at the Baltimore 43. Out to Murray, and Arizona's right there. Everett Garrison with the tackle. No gain on the play, and that will be the final play of the first quarter of work. Arizona with an early lead on the road, 14-7 on top of the 2-time defending champion, 3-time champs overall Baltimore Vultures. This is the SFL Season 19 championship game on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back. Aerial coverage of today's game is provided by Dags Droneworks, aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Beautiful shots of downtown Baltimore here tonight as we get back in action here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium. Alongside Brett Solberg, I'm Cameron Irvine. We've got Tyler Falk, Mike St. Green, and Ethan Muslin back at the studios. Rochelle Colston, Justin Reside, and Zach Holdorf on Stats All-Star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
You have got to be kidding me. Both offenses continue to astound me with how well played they have been making so far. And how about this coming off the break? Going 5 receivers, saying, you know what, let's bring out our big guns. And again, We saw this earlier on Irvin's touchdown. Everett Garrison getting beat again by Ivory Irvin. And if Arizona needs to shore anything up, it is to shut down that passing game. They've done a great job defending it on the ground, but now in the air, you can see it right there. Wigmore still perfect. 8 of 8 now.
16.5 yards per attempt, 132 yards, a perfect QBR. And these two offenses, they're not only cooking, but I mean, they're burning the whole house down.
And I was going to talk about, moving into if Baltimore was going to have a bit of a slower drive, that advantage came to Arizona because they averaged roughly a first down per play coming out of that first quarter, with Baltimore 7.2. But forget that. One play, 57 yards, changes the game.
So Tarkington will kick it away. This kick gets a little bit deeper than Allen's, few yards. Owens on the return, past the 20 to 23. And, I'm not really surprised, Brett. We've seen a lot of offense in these playoffs. You look at the scores. We've seen a 49-35 game. Both of these teams put up 40 last week. And when you get to this point in the season, after 17 weeks of football, Brett, you got all these star players out there. Any team is going to be really tough to stop.
That's very true. You're talking about, offensive studs that develop into, absolute legends in 1 week. It's amazing.
Throw to the short side to Moses, and Moses makes a man miss, gets a block down the field, gets all the way to the 44 before Devin King gets his 5th solo tackle chasing him down.
Did you see what Moses did as well to lead up to that spin move as well? You'll see him angle himself a little bit to the sidelines a bit before the spin move happens. Say goodnight. I'm going to get some extra space before Devin King gets to the tackle. Great 15-yard play from DJ Moses.
That was Brian Bumgarner leading the way out there for Moses. And Moses has been dominant in the screen game now. A 21-yard pickup now for 40 yards on 3 receptions in the first half. 1st and 10 at the Arizona 44. Quick throw out to Weston. First time we've seen that today. Picks up 5 yards. Marvin Himes on the tackle.
Yeah, just a very short play there. Again, Arizona maybe trying to change depths of field for Baltimore instead of going deep and, going for, behind. They go with like a little bit of a short pass to see what they're going to do with it. And they tackle him right afterwards, but it's still 2nd and 5.
2 backs and 2 receivers for Ashley Jackson. 4-3 defensive look for Baltimore. They bring some pressure from the outside, and eventually Moses is hauled down by Frank Smith. Devin King there again to make a stop, and it'll set up a 3rd and 6.
I mean, again, another 3rd down here. I believe this is the 2nd time that Arizona's gone on a 3rd down situation here, and they need to convert on this one because right now it's a tit-for-tat game. Who's going to score the most at this point? We're already reaching, way well above pace to 62.5 that Jack's data has for us.
Arizona scored on both their first 2 possessions. Baltimore punted on their first. They've scored on the next 2. Jackson deep, drop back, will fire it outside.
That's short.
But TJ Punk runs out of room. So now decision time, 4th and 1 at the Vulture 47.
And here's the thing, it's not a guaranteed guess up here in the booth anymore because we've seen throughout these playoffs multiple teams go on 4th and 1 in the second quarter multiple times. So we don't know if they're going to bring out the defense or not.
They're out there.
Ooh.
Will they snap with 15 on the clock? 6 on the line of scrimmage for Baltimore. And Jackson's going hard count. And not a bad timeout burn there. Don't want to do anything to flip momentum, Brett, to Baltimore, as this game has been back and forth the whole time, and Arizona will just punt it away. They do get the ball to start the second half. It's worth noting.
Yeah, another big key element in this chess game that we call the championship game is who's going to take the first penalty of the game as well. Nobody's taken a penalty yet in this first quarter. The second quarter, there's Arizona looking for Baltimore to jump. And well-disciplined is that Baltimore defense. That's a reason why they have the most feared rushing defense in the league.
8:50 on the clock here in the first quarter. Arizona and Baltimore all knotted up at 14. There have been no turnovers. 2 punts, 1 from either side, and 4 touchdowns, 2 from either side, as Irvin gets blasted at the 17-yard line. And there's your updated team stats. As you would expect, almost even. in every way, Brett.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, Arizona's done a fantastic job in at least limiting the rushing game from Baltimore, because Warren Murray has the potential for 150-plus yard rushing games out of him. So far, he's been limited to just 9 yards on 2 carries and 5 yards on 3 receptions. It's been all T-Roy Gaines, essentially.
Worst starting field position for Baltimore in this game, thanks to Colston with that little nugget, as Gaines is flattened. A gain of 1. J.R. Lawless with the stop. Looked like one of those fail videos, Brett, where the machinery goes backwards, carrying a heavy load. That was rough.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking there. Or you can even take it to like a phantom banana peel as well, with Lawless being the proverbial banana.
4 receivers, 2 to either side. 7 in the box for Arizona. They back off. Oh, nearly intercepted as Murray gets a few yards on the reception. Butkus on the tackle. That was Constantine out there trying to defend that play.
Yeah, how often do you see a defensive end go on the flat coverage? And Alex Constantine, he's not a huge body or anything like that. He's got some speed to him, so he's able to guard the flats. But instead of trying to get his hands up on the football, I think he could have tipped it with those long arms he's got.
3rd down and 5 at the 23-yard line. 6 in the box for Arizona. Fire out to Irvin, and he got the first down. That is an excellent play from Irvin, Garrison, and Parker Thomas. Check that. Lloyd combined for the stop, and it's 1st down.
Yeah, that one was a very, very tough go for Irvin as well. You can see the catch was floating behind the 1st down marker, and he willed himself. He pushed through, used his strength to get to the 1st down, and that's big for Baltimore.
Chima's been quiet, but Irvin now 111 yards on 4 receptions and 2 touchdowns in this first half. Murray can't go anywhere. Arizona's all over the flip outside. Parker Thomas out of Ohio, which is also where T-Roy Gaines is from, with the stop. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and a lot of SFL teams like to establish on 1st downs, that swing pass. Vancouver, London does it sometimes. Mexico City did it pretty well with Phoenix Jones in the early stages of the season. So Arizona doing the right thing and trying to guard that swing pass.
Wigmore still perfect, 11 for 11, 143 yards. Fires it outside, 12 for 12. Irvin with a catch, picks up 5, makes it a more 3rd and manageable. Garrison with another stop, and these DBs are racking up the tackles.
Yeah, and now here we go. Another opportunity for Baltimore here on a 3rd down. Their 5th 3rd down chance here already in this game. They're 2 for 4 so far. We're looking at split 50-50. Can they break the 50 marker?
3rd and 5. Wigmore outside, caught by Holder. 1st down, executed to perfection. Holder with the catch and another 1st down. And Baltimore is putting a whole new meaning into averaging 3.4 yards per play. They are just milking this drive right now, Brett.
Yeah, and this is what Baltimore has done to get themselves winning games and winning games in emphatic fashion. I can remember for sure. Let's go all the way back to week 1 where they dominated DC 26-6. And you want to know why? Time of possession dominated.
1st and 10 of the 39. Wigmore looking around for someone to get open. That's a catch for DJ Bandit all by himself in the open field. Picks up 20 yards. That's Bandit's first catch, first target for any tight end in this game.
Yeah, and how about that? Introducing the tight ends into this game. And it ain't Lloyd Graham Jr., the guy you usually think would get the tight end options. It's your 2nd tight end, DJ Bandit. He ain't a puff marshmallow himself. He can get himself some catches and get a big 20-yard gain out of this. Baltimore now marching on.
They're stuffing marshmallows now. It's crazy. The world is crazy. 1st and 10 at the Arizona 41. Wigmore drops to throw, fires outside, caught by Chima. Chima picks up 9 to the 32. And Baltimore's reached that point in the game, Brett, that they are so confident with their passing game, their short passing game rather, they've kind of abandoned the run. Warren Murray just 2 carries, and Wigmore's 14 of 14.
And you have to think it's probably because of Arizona's great job defending the run so far. As you can see Murray and Gaines just having a heck of a time out there trying to get yards. So they're going to rely on Jack Wigmore. Buck 82 already for him.
15 of 15 now. There's a flag. Murray is hit in the backfield. Didn't see anybody jump. That's Lawless getting in the backfield very quickly. Misses the first flag of the game. And our first look at R62, for those of you wondering at home what his name is, we don't name our referees. They're just not that good. It's a hold.
That's a good one, Cam. But yeah,
Vincent.
holding with a big, it was we called one yesterday. That was a big holding call on Annapolis that set him 5 yards back on a situation where they could have, had some points scored. But this time in the championship game, setting them back here instead of 2nd and 1, we're looking at 2nd and 11.
Second out of the Arizona 42, 4:50 to go in the first half. Tie game, flip out to Gaines. Gaines going nowhere. Look at that. 3 different Scorpion defenders, including Everett Garrison. He now has 5 solo tackles, and 3rd and long coming up.
Looked like Everett Garrison, Maurice Lloyd, and Parker Thomas on the trios tackle there. The last time I saw a trios, work so well were the Death Triangle at All Elite Wrestling reference out of the way already here in this game. But Arizona working hard here to force another 3rd down.
5 wide, 3rd and 12 for Wigmore to throw again. Deep shot is incomplete. Garrison gets the knockaway and drags down Ivory Irvin and finally doesn't get beat over the top. And Arizona gets the stop outside of field goal range.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I guess shame on you again. But the 3rd time is definitely not going to work again. It's the same route again, going with the corner to the sidelines. This time Garrison steps back just enough, and he almost got the interception too. And that would have been a big momentum shifter with, this touchdown tennis match now. So stopping them on a big interception would have been key, but nonetheless, they're going to get the football back.
From Tyler Falk, that was their first 3rd and 10 plus of the game, and coincidentally the first incompletion for Wigmore. Second punt from Coffins, going to try to pin Arizona deep. This will bounce at the 6, and it'll roll into the end zone. No harm, no foul there. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Now 103 players in the minors as of today. Brett, we reload every offseason.
Mm-hmm.
1st and 10 of the 20. 4 wide. Going long. Jackson's got protection. Passes caught. One-on-one coverage. Weston. That has been the matchup of the first half. This offensive line protecting Ashley Jackson and Connor Weston winning the battle over Ben Stackenpaper.
Now, how big is it for Ashley Jackson to get that protection against guys like Joe Duncan and Nate Brown and Ciaron Yates, the chef, not being able to get a hand on Ashley Jackson yet, letting her be able to throw those kind of passing attempts to her receivers. And Connor Weston, that's what you call mossing a defender. Ben Stackenpaper having a tough time against him with 5 receptions on 92 yards.
Ryan Owens, 2 touchdowns last week. Punk over 200 yards in the wild card win. Maybe today is Connor Weston's day. That pass is caught by Owens. Another first down for Arizona. And just as I thought that defenses were starting to creep into this game, Arizona's offense says, we still got plenty of game left in us.
Yeah, and I think it's because of that balanced attack. We haven't had to really worry too much about, if Ashley Jackson's going to throw deep. But, they're slinging the rock a little bit far now, testing the limits of this Baltimore defense.
Jackson fires it out to Moses. One-on-one. Moses, for the first time today, cannot make the first man miss. Frank Smith, who tied an SFL record for a linebacker this season with 6 sacks, brings him down. He's had a terrific season.
Yeah, and there you go. Again, that passing attack, that passing defense, the rushing defense of Baltimore. It's not just the linemen. The linebackers get involved as well, as you can see with Frank Smith's 6 sacks.
2nd and 9 to the 41-yard line. Jackson fires it out to Moses. Look at all the empty space for DJ. Got a first down and just did step out of bounds. Ben Stackenpaper may have saved 20 yards with that shoestring attempted tackle. Moses runs out of room, but it's still a move of the sticks for Arizona.
Let me do you one better. I think Ben Stackenpaper saved a touchdown here from Arizona, because I don't think Moses was going to get touched at least to the 15-yard line, if not even deeper. I think that another perfectly timed spin move, and we're talking about another touchdown, this time through the air for DJ Moses.
It's Moses versus Irvin in the first half. 108 all-purpose yards for Moses, 111 for Irvin. A couple skilled players. Jackson going deep. It is knocked away. Giovanni Bolt. This time they were looking for Will Todd, his first target of the game. Baltimore ready for it, and it's second down.
Yeah, and that one was a little bit of a risky throw from Ashley Jackson. Again, this time overthrowing that pocket between the linebackers and safeties, and that forced Will Todd to, try to extend himself a little bit further. And like you said, Giovanni Bolt did a fantastic job at least tipping the football away. Second down.
2nd and 10, 2:19 to go in the first half. Jackson fires it outside to Moses, has a block. Moses near a first down. That was Connor Weston laying a big hit, and it brings up 3rd and short.
Yeah, and you'll see on the replay here, just great coverage again from the offensive line. And there you see it there, Connor Weston with the key block on Marvin Himes. If it wasn't for Weston, we wouldn't be talking about 3rd and inches here. We'd be maybe talking 3rd and deep.
These two quarterbacks have been fantastic today. Clean sheets. End of that segment of this show. 2-minute warning. That's the only thing that was ending. 2-minute warning. Got plenty more game left. Arizona and Baltimore all tied up. This is the 19th SFL Championship game presented by APN Music on Next Level Sports. Don't go anywhere. Back here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium, and they are loud. 3rd and inches at the Baltimore 17-yard line. Two in the backfield, heavy set. They're going to hand off to Moses, and Moses is stopped in the backfield. That is the second time immediately after a commercial break. A monstrous play from Baltimore, and that was Al Walker with the tackle for loss. He was 12th this season ranking in tackles for loss, and it'll force a Cliff Allen 39-yard field goal.
Yeah, and it's sad to say that he's probably the most forgotten of the four defensive linemen out there. But Al Walker, he's got some pep in his step, getting himself through. Nobody touched him. Gets to Moses, and that's a loss of 4 yards. Say goodnight to a touchdown in Arizona.
Arizona does wisely bleed the clock. Baltimore's got all 3 timeouts. It's a 38-yarder. Better get it off. Marvin Himes almost got the block, and the field goal is good. 17-14. Arizona retakes the lead, and Baltimore will have one last chance before the half. Arizona gets the ball to start the second half.
I was talking to Chris Curtis earlier, one of our fellow broadcast partners out there, and he said the key to Arizona's game is that if Cliff Allen kicks more than 3 field goals in this matchup, it might be a sign that Baltimore's defense is working. Well, here's the first one. And with a $1:16 left, can Baltimore respond before the end of the half?
Good point by the veteran broadcaster. Well done. 1:16 on the clock. Irvin, no lane to speak of. There was, what is that, 8 Scorpions on the screen? They're all over him. And Wigmore will start from his own 26-yard line. So far today, 16 of 17. Don't get much better than that, except that one incompletion on 3rd and long.
Yeah, you can tell from that QBR all on its own. 158.3 is your magic perfection number, and he's not too far away from that with his 150.2.
1:11 on the clock, hand off to T-Roy Gaines. He hurdles a defender and then is quickly wrapped up by David Tilley. And let's see what Baltimore does with this. They may hurry if they get a first, or they look pretty content at the moment.
No, they're still hustling up here. They're going to have about 18 seconds on the play clock after they set things up. They're going to go 2 receivers to the right, so this is a question mark. This could be a run or a throw.
Irvin's in the slot. Shima, very bottom of your screen. Flip out to Murray, and Murray is brought down. No gain. Everett Garrison again, and Warren Murray now 7 catches for 15 yards. Everett Garrison playing a monster first half.
Yeah, and a monster second quarter for Garrison as well, because you have to remember, a couple times he's been beat by Avery Irvin, so he's trying to pay off, the other parts of the game by, pursuing that dump pass and trying to negate any gain of yards there.
3rd and 9, 5 wide. Baltimore not giving it up just yet, but that pass sails over the head of Daley Holder. There was pressure incoming on Wigmore, and with 8 seconds to go, Arizona going to get the ball back.
A little bit of a jostling of position between the receiver and Maurice Lloyd. Definitely, I think Baltimore might have a case for pass interference on that one, but no flag thrown. They're conceding to punt here with 8 seconds left, thinking they'll probably get no damage from the kick return, or the punt returner, I should say.
Arizona up by 3. Baltimore has not led in this game. Owens breaks a tackle and gets it up to the 42, but there's no time on the clock, so no opportunity for a Hail Mary attempt. Owens does not have a career return touchdown and won't get his first there. That brings us to the half. 17-14, Arizona leads Baltimore. We're back to the studio after this. You're watching the SFL 19th championship game presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports.
Welcome everyone to the APM Music Halftime Show. Ethan Muslin, Mike St. Green, Tyler Falk here on my right. And, this has been a big heavyweight bout. After one half, it's Arizona 17, Baltimore 14. We've seen a lot of bombs being thrown from both quarterbacks who've just been absolutely efficient on both the ends. So it's like I'm looking at the stats on here. Ashley Jackson's dropped 2. Jack Wigmore dropped 1. I think this has just been the biggest factor from both of these squads, just the efficiency of both of these quarterbacks.
Well, what I like about what we're seeing so far, Ethan, being that it is a championship game, this game is being won by great play, whether it's offensively, defensively. We're not seeing any, big mistakes, have a big toll in this game, and I'm just happy to see that. But these offenses have both been great. Arizona's doing a lot of what we saw them do most of the season, moving the chains on third downs, coming through with big plays to keep the chains moving. Connor Weston has been a key in that. TJ Punk also made a big catch in this game. And, it's been fantastic so far for both teams offensively in the first half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. Looking at the quick stats here, Arizona's 3 for 5 on third down, Baltimore 3 for 7. And I think, Tyler, we were kind of looking at this. This is where, Arizona's kind of got the momentum. They got the 3 and out for Baltimore to start the game, and then after that it was touchdowns passing across each other. Arizona's defense has really been stepping up in this championship game.
Absolutely. They have neutralized Warren Murray, which is something that didn't happen with Lone Star a season ago in that championship game. And if you're a Baltimore fan, this isn't a time to panic. Yes, this is only the second time that Baltimore has been down at half in a championship game. They were down 14-6 versus Florida a few seasons back in season 17. But they came all the way back with a roaring fourth quarter in that ball game. Expect Baltimore to try and emulate the same here. But if Florida, who doesn't play in this game, just watches from the sidelines, sadly, if Arizona, mind you, if Arizona has the same game plan coming out here in the second half to, again, make Baltimore one-dimensional, make Wigmore throw long passes. The incompletion by Wigmore was on the first 3rd and long of the ball game for Baltimore. So the defense has to play stout on 1st and 2nd downs to force the long drives, to force the long 3rd down. If they can continue to do that, Arizona might just knock off Baltimore at home for the first time in, I think, 3 to 4 seasons, which is incredible.
It really has been. Looking back at the game, I think we're all in agreement. The big moment for Arizona so far in this first half were those 2 plays that finished off for their second touchdown. A 31-yard pass, then another 35-yard run from Moses to put it in for the score. That probably put so much momentum on Arizona's back. What was the key moment? What's the key moment for you guys after one half of football?
Well, I'm going to give you 3 names that's been the key so far in this game. And that's Sean Crooked, EJ DeQ, and Kelly on the offensive line, because they basically have neutralized the defensive line of the Baltimore Vultures. We have yet to hear Saron Yates' name. We did see a great play there at the end of the half, on a running play, a tackle for loss. But as far as getting pressure on Ashley Jackson, we've only pretty much seen that once. She was hit as she threw and kind of overthrew a pass. But other than that, Arizona's been able to run deep routes, protect her pretty well. And that goes to the guys, credit to the guys up front, keeping us clean pocket for her to be able to make the plays that she's been making.
Absolutely. We've got a couple minutes left before we get back into this. One more half of football left. Mike, Tyler, I want to hear from both of you. What do you think is going to be the keys to adjust for each team?
Well, I'll start off with this one, and it's the matchups. The key matchups to me, there's one on both sides of the ball. It's a CB1 versus CB1 or wide receiver 1. It's a CB2 versus a wide receiver 2. The 1v1 matchup, that's Ivory Irvin versus Everett Garrison. We saw Garrison get beat a couple of times. He adjusted well at the end of the half to force a couple of deflections on Ivory Irvin. He did have those 2 long touchdowns. And reverse side, see the 2 matchup, that's Weston versus Stack and Paper. And so far, Weston's done a great job. 5 receptions and on 5 targets for a couple of incredible catches, including that one diving catch on the drive you mentioned there, Ethan. If we're going to probably see a gun show with both of those matchups. Whichever one of the defensive players makes a play first, I see momentum swinging in that team's favor.
Mike, what are you seeing for possible adjustments?
Baltimore definitely going to have to get more pressure on Ashley Jackson in the pocket, but a difference-making things that's going to have to happen. And I'm going to look at it from a Baltimore perspective. They always seem to come through with a quick change play, whether it's a punt return, kick return, or a big interception, pick six. A big quick change play for Baltimore is going to make a difference for them in this game. And for Arizona, you're going to see more of the same. If they can duplicate what they did in the first half, in the second half, I think they're going to come out on top at the end of this.
Well, we got one more half to go. We heard the adjustments from these guys. We'll see what they do down in the tunnel. One more half of football left to go here in SFL Season 19. Arizona currently leading on Baltimore 17-14. Cam and Brett will have the call for the second half on the other side of this break. You're watching the SFL Season 19 Championship presented by AP Music on Next Level Sports. It's going to be a good one, folks. We'll see you on the next side of the break.
Welcome back to Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Check out sportsgamersonline.com or check them out on YouTube and see why millions visit their website and YouTube channel. Arizona gets the start with the football in the second half, and we're underway. Brett Solberg, Cameron Irvine with you. Rochelle Colston, Justin Reside, Zach Holdorf in our stats truck tonight. Owens takes the return up to the 24-yard line. There are your first half stats. Arizona's offense just a touch more explosive with a 3-point lead.
Yeah, and that basically exemplifies how explosive both of these teams have been, especially through the air, with both these quarterbacks already combined 370 yards between these two quarterbacks. Amazing work.
1st and 10 to start the half. Jackson, nobody open, and she goes down. Was looking for Moses, and that is a second half adjustment from Baltimore. Al Walker brings Jackson down for the first sack of the Vultures' evening.
Yeah, and MSG pointed to this as Baltimore's time to adjust defensively for them was to get to Ashley Jackson. How about first defensive play of the half? Al Walker gets his first sack of the game for either team.
Now 2nd and long, and This has been effective for Jackson when she has time to throw. Hit as she threw, and Weston is overthrown. That's the second time we've seen that tonight. When Baltimore gets pressure, that is the game right there, Brett.
Yeah, and again, it's Al Walker getting to Ashley Jackson 2 times in a row. This time, Jackson just had enough to get it out of her hands, and luckily enough for her, she threw it way overthrown so that nobody could get that football to limit any chance of an interception.
They flip the field now, 3rd and 16 at the 17-yard line, 3 wide, top of the screen. Jackson in trouble and is sacked. 3 and out and a 13-yard loss, and there's the Chef cooking it up in the backfield.
And give him a half sack along with that, Mr. Frank Smith coming in to pursue. We're talking about linebackers getting involved in the passing defense as well, and there it is. This is what Baltimore needed to do in that first half to stifle Arizona's offense, and now they're showing up here in the third quarter.
Baltimore now 8 tackles for loss. They led the league in the regular season with 104 over 12 games, just shy of 10 per game, but they are exceeding those expectations tonight. Punt not great. Baltimore right in Arizona territory to start the second half, and Brett, Baltimore's kind of right where they were towards the end of that first half when they had the football, and they're back at it.
Yeah, very true. I would say about a 2-yard difference from where they punted the football as well, so it felt like neutral ground in between half times.
Wigmore floats that one over the top and hits Mac Chima. Pretty dime, and the Vultures have early second half momentum.
And I thought at first that Maurice Lloyd got the deflection on her hand and didn't get the catch, but that's just amazing work from Mac Chima to find where that football is and just kind of skid under it just enough to manage to grab it. Just great work, and Baltimore starting to cruise on all ends of the field now.
Threw it over the top, over Butkus's outreached arm. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line now. Handoff, T-Roy Gaines, and Sean Moore drags him down. Pick up a 2.
Yeah, and Sean Moore and Eddie Gage with that joint tackle there coming in, kind of as, the exclamation point to getting T-Roy Gaines down. That's a tough boy to get down, that T-Roy Gaines. He can get you 8 yards just by cruising forward.
9 in the box, heavy look. They bail out. Murray with the reception, and Murray picks up a few. His numbers, you nailed it with the, they did at halftime with the Lone Star comparison. He was their offense in that 18th championship game, but today he's really been bottled up.
Yeah, that's been forcing Baltimore's hand to kind of throw the football a little bit more and see if they can get their receivers, some touches here. And it's worked to dividends, especially Irvin's way with his 111 so far in this game.
3rd and 3, handoff, didn't get it.
No.
That was T-Roy on the carry and getting the stop, Sean Moore. And one other, that may have been Eddie Gage in there, and that'll bring up 4th down and a game-tying field goal coming up for Tarkington. That would be the 3rd time Baltimore has tied but not led in this game.
Yeah, and that's been the MO of Arizona's defense in this game, is to shut down Murray and shut down Gaines. Eliminate that rushing game altogether. Force Wigmore to throw because you think he might make a mistake soon.
Field goal is up and good from 34 yards away. No problem for Shark Tarkington, and we are tied at 17. The SFL Minor League is underway, but it's never too late to create your player and get him or her involved in the next rookie class. Season 20's rookie draft takes place December 17th and 18th, so don't miss your chance. The sooner you create your player, the better your player will be on draft day. For more information, there's a QR code down on the bottom of the ticker. Every so often, take a picture of that, get to our website, and we'll get you on the field with the rest of all these superstars out here. 46 players on display here this evening, playing for their legacies, Brett. And for a team like Arizona, a lot of people in their first title games. Not everyone. Hunter Norwood was in Tallahassee for a couple, lost 2 of those to the previously Alaska Storm, now Florida Storm, and Norwood probably wants this more than anybody.
Oh, yeah, him and Eddie Gage, I'm thinking they're 2 guys that really want this their own ring at this point.
First and 10 of the 25. Jackson's going long. It is caught. And a broken tackle by Will Todd. And Will Todd is going to score. Touchdown, Arizona.
Forget the tie. We're going to just retake this lead. Ashley Jackson with a perfectly placed throw to only where Will Todd can catch that football. And we thought he was done. That was just going to be a 25-yard catch and everything like that. No way. Giovanni Bolt, you ain't going to get a tackle off the big body of Will Todd. He's going to keep running, and he's going to make that a one-play drive. Vancouver-esque, if I can say so myself, to get to the end zone. 23-17 Arizona, back in front.
Will Todd's first catch of the game, Brett, goes for 75 yards. And Ashley Jackson now up to 264 in this one, 16 for 19. There's a near-perfect QBR, just like Wigmore.
Yeah, it's just amazing work from both these quarterbacks. And now Ashley Jackson, there's the perfect QBR. And again, 13.9 yards per attempt.
Boy, these snaps are really a mess for Arizona. Another near block. But for the third time this game, Brett, Baltimore has tied the game and Arizona has responded with a score.
And that had to be the quickest of them all. Come on, 14 seconds. There was that drive. Just 14.
Allen will boot it away. Feels like every kickoff in this game has gone from left to right, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As Irvin breaks a tackle, gets to the 24. Arizona special teams continues to bottle up Irvin. Maybe he used it all up last week, Brett, with those 2 return touchdowns. He was just ridiculous. And that was one of those games, that win over Mexico City, where Mexico City seemingly was doing everything to beat Baltimore, and then Baltimore just has these moments. And so far, waiting for that moment tonight.
Yeah, again, going back to that game there, just amazing work from Mexico City's defense to force an easy catch there, first down for Lloyd Graham Jr., And yeah, Mexico City felt like they were on the right track, up to over ending Baltimore and ending their run. But again, it was just, Ivory Irvin coming in with the clutch, kick return touchdowns. And it just was that big momentum shift that Baltimore always seems to get to win these football games.
Boy, Graham with a 15-yard catch. And now all 6-7 skilled players for Baltimore have at least one catch in this ball game. Murray's still sitting at 2 carries for 9 yards. Gaines, 7 carries for 16 yards. Arizona has turned them into a one-dimensional offense. First down and 10. Wigmore's pass is incomplete. Looking for Gus Woods over the middle. His first target brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and again, going back to Arizona's plan on defense, again, fantastic job shutting down the run game. And now they're trying to see if Jack Wigmore can make a mistake of throwing the football. That's his first incompletion in a while, though. So Jack Wigmore stepping up to the plate and being that ever-efficient quarterback that Baltimore has seen him be for all 5 seasons.
Wigmore with 3 receivers looking down the middle, and a wobbly-looking pass as the pocket broke down. Pass intended for Mac Chima, and that is the first time in this game that either quarterback has thrown 2 incompletions in a row, and it's 3rd down and 10.
And that one had to be probably the most guaranteed incompletion for Jack Wigmore as well, because it wasn't even close to the defender that was nearby the football, Eddie Gage. He didn't have the legs to get to that football either.
Just 1 tackle for loss in this game for Arizona's defense. They were 2nd worst in that category this season. 3rd down and 10. They're still hanging in there, and Iverson Gamble knocks it down in one-on-one coverage. Another 3rd and 10 plus that results in an incomplete pass for Wigmore, and Arizona's defense gets the stop. How many times have we seen this in the playoffs, Brett? Arizona has been a second-half team, and after a slow start to this 3rd quarter, they're responding.
Yeah, and did you see what Baltimore did there? They kind of flipped the script, essentially. So instead of Ivory Irvin on the left side going with the post route, they decided to go with Daley Holder on the right to see what would happen, and it didn't work. Great work from Iverson Gamble to get the tip.
Return from Owens gets to the 21-yard line. So Ashley Jackson will come back out there. TJ Punk, quiet night, 3 catches, 19 yards. Elijah Warfield, a complete shutdown corner. And even Moses, 14 touches. They haven't overused him, and he's been extremely efficient with his touches, 14 total for 108 yards.
Yeah, and that's what you want out of your running back. If you can't get it all on the ground all the time, you want to see what the swing pass works, and he's averaging 10 yards per reception.
Hand off Moses, running right. DJ Moses breaks off a Smith tackle, and Alvin Mack eventually wraps him up with his buddy Devin King, a 9.5-yard gain.
And there is a shining example of how effective DJ Moses has been throughout this game. And again, like you said, it hasn't been too many touches on the ground. That's only 9 touches, and that was almost encroachment there from Baltimore, getting a little antsy.
My goodness, talking trash. A toss to Moses. Moses gets a block. Moses 45, 50. Rivera outside getting a block. First time we've called Toriano Rivera's name all night. What a play call from Arizona.
If you would have told me 5 seasons ago that the toss play in the SFL would actually be effective, I would have laughed you out of town. But now this season, they've been a lot of these play callers have been shaking it up offensively, adding the toss in every now and again. It doesn't have to be every time, and has resulted in these big yard plays. And that is the big yard play we've been looking for on the ground from DJ Moses.
Moses, 85 yards on 10 carries now. Hand off Moses again. This time, LaShaw ready for that one. A loss of 1, the 10th tackle for loss on the day for Baltimore.
Yeah, and this time, Baltimore was ready for it. They pursued with, it looked to be 6 in that box pursued, as well as Troy Loshaw coming in with the run support. So Baltimore kind of shaking things up, knowing that Arizona probably wants to go run on these first couple downs.
Moses, loss again. Wrapped up by Joe Duncan, his first tackle of the night. And now it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 13, but Arizona has been much better on 3rd and long tonight than Baltimore.
And you know what? Joe Duncan isn't one of those guys that's going to be a stat stuffer on this Baltimore squad, but he is a you-know-what disturber when it comes to opposing offensive lines. Always makes it a tough time to cover him.
3 for 6 on 3rd down tonight for Arizona's offense. Jackson going long. It is incomplete. Ryan Owens, defended by Ben Stackenpaper, could not haul it in. And that Vulture defense stands tall and does not allow Arizona to extend their lead.
Yeah, and the big key there was Baltimore doing a great job defending the pass this time. And it wasn't too many attempts that Ashley Jackson had in the air on this drive. But once it got into, a deep passing situation where Arizona had to throw the football, they stepped up defensively and got that 4th down.
They come after it, can't get to it. Himes was the one applying some pressure. Irvin will return this from his 15. Parker Thomas drags him down at the 20 with 4:33 to go in the 3rd quarter. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams. All the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. 1st and 10 of the 20. 4 wide for Baltimore. Wigmore gains, caught. 1st down. Gains 2nd catch of the night. The 35, and now it's Baltimore wrinkling up the offense.
And this time, T-Roy Gaines comes in as a slot receiver on that trips bunch to help out with the 3. And there was a double slants, both from T-Roy, and it looked to be Mac Chima as well, going with the deeper kind of slant route, and one of them's going to be open, and usually is, because defenders have to decide which one to cover, and Chima usually is the bigger threat option at wide receiver, so they're going to give it to T-Roy Gaines all the time on that play.
Murray alone in the backfield, no deep safety for Arizona. The handoff goes to Murray, and Murray breaks a couple of tackles and picks up 8. That nearly equals his rushing yards on the night, Brett, and Arizona was playing tight on that one.
Yeah, and that's just, all will, all effort from Warren Murray as well. He knows that he is struggling in this game. Arizona has been on his tuchus the entire game so far. So if he can just will himself to, get those 8 yards every now and again, it'll be big for Baltimore to spread that offense up a little bit.
2 in the backfield, stretch, Murray got a block, breaks a tackle, Garrison wraps him up again. T-Roy pancaking Maurice Lloyd out there, and Murray is warming up, folks.
Yeah, and that was a key block on that initial side, and I think it was Mel Blackman, the tackle, that got that key block to help out instead of a tackle for loss for Arizona to get that first down.
3 minutes and counting to go in the third. Gaines, another carry, picks up 3. This has been an interesting change in philosophy on this drive. Brett, they've been all passing for pretty much the last quarter and a half, and all of a sudden, back to the ground and pound.
Well, you have to think with that last drive that, forced away a punt from Baltimore, those last 2 throws from Jack Wigmore were very errant throws. They were very out there. So maybe it's a time, a little bit of composure for him, rely on that ground game, see if they can change things in terms of, the tide on their run game.
3 in the backfield. Haven't seen much of this tonight out of Baltimore. They will throw. Wigmore out to Murray, and Murray makes a man miss, drags a defender, gets a first down to the Arizona 41-yard line. What a beast!
And it's quickly becoming a tale of two halves for Warren Murray as he's starting to heat up a little bit here. And this is the Warren Murray that we know and love out of him, that becomes that, ever-loving offensive player that can't be stopped, won't be stopped at any point, and he willed himself again for another big first down for the Vultures.
Up to 49 yards on 13 touches tonight. Still not anything to honk about, but he's getting there. Wigmore's going long. It is caught by Daly Holder down to the Arizona 16, and Wigmore passes Jackson in passing yards, and Baltimore's back in the red zone.
Yeah, and it seems like this is the only play set that they use out of that 5-receiver set. You saw Ivor Irvin again go to the corner, and again, Arizona played it well, thinking it was going to go Irvin's way. But the problem is they left Holder open on the middle of the field. That's an easy throw and catch for any quarterback and receiver.
Daly Holder doesn't get the attention that Chima and Irvin get, but he is an unsung hero in this Baltimore offense. Really is what makes them totally lethal in the passing game. 1st and 10. At the 16 of Arizona. Wigmore will drop the pass. Wigmore firing to the end zone. It's intercepted! Intercepted in the end zone by Eddie Gage. First down for Arizona at the 20.
And how often have we seen this throughout SFL's history, whether it be with Oklahoma City, whether it be with Houston and the Hyenas, whether it be with his ownership team in the Arizona Scorpions. End zone interceptions from Eddie Gage. He just wishes it was the other side of the end zone so that the monkey can get off his back and he can say he got a pick 6, but he'll still take this.
1st and 10 at the 20. Jackson. Back to pass, and it's caught. Will Todd. First down to the 39-yard line. Todd's second catch over Giovanni Bolt, and Arizona answering right back.
One of the archetypes that a lot of football coaches love to call tight ends are vertical threats, but usually they're talking about down the field, not up and down. Look at the leaping ability of Will Todd. He is just another man today. I would put him in my basketball league if I could. The senior men's league needs a few high jump and shooting guards.
First down. Moses, lucky to get a yard. And Moses up to now 77 yards total in this one. Duncan on the stop, and Arizona may get one more playoff before the third quarter.
Yeah, it looks like, they're quickly hustling too, so they can at least get one playoff here. And I wouldn't be too surprised if this is a stretch run to Moses to see if they can get a third and manageable.
Moses waits for blockers and gets a first down in midfield. And everybody teasing Eddie Gage because he was in the end zone when he got an interception, just the wrong one. And that's not right. This man is stressful right now. But Moses and company helping the Arizona Scorpions out to a 7-point lead entering the fourth quarter of play. And that is where we are going next. In our community chat, put your 4s, 12s, 86s, and 68s in there. What a game. You're watching the SFL's 19th championship on Next Level Sports. Don't go anywhere. Baltimore has won 3 of the last 4 SFL championships and the last 2. Arizona's been in this league since season 1, looking for their first. They are up 24-17 in the fourth quarter here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore. Alongside Brett Solberg, I'm Cameron Irvine, Rochelle Colston, Justin Reside, Zach Holdorf on stats. Arizona up by 7. 3.5-point dogs tonight as that pass is hauled in by TJ Punk, a pickup of 4 to start the fourth quarter.
It's good. It's a good momentum setter here for this fourth quarter. Now that the dust is settled off the third quarter, and a lot of big plays happening from both teams, and Baltimore making their first mistake of this game with that end zone interception from Eddie Gage, the legend of Eddie Gage, coming up big again for Arizona here. 2nd and 6 here though.
3 wide for Jackson. Moses sidecar right. 2nd and 6. Jackson off her back foot, throws in the middle of the field, back across her body, and that was nearly picked off by Warfield, blanketing Ryan Owens to set up a 3rd and 6.
I think Jackson was hoping that since Warfield had his back to Ashley Jackson, that she could hope that she could throw a little bit of a sneaky pass to the receiver, but this time it just doesn't work out. 3rd and 6 here, the biggest third down so far in Arizona's offense.
3rd and long. Same look. Nickel out of Baltimore's defense. Jackson fires deep. It is intercepted. Elijah Warfield, 30, 40, and Warfield back to the 44 as the two continue to go back and forth tonight.
And this time it's back and forth with interceptions. And Elijah Warfield, we're mentioning his name again. He's been all over the field, especially blanketing his main man. This time it was I believe it was, TJ Punk there. I'm mixing numbers already on my sheet here, but that is a huge coverage from Punk, who has been new in this game, only 24 yards on 4 receptions so far, and this, the biggest coverage play of them all for Warfield, resulting in interception.
It's like the two quarterbacks have been mimicking each other the entire night. They both now have 6 incompletions, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Wigmore's pass tipped up in the air and nearly intercepted.
Oh, man.
2nd down. These defenses are flying as desperation sets in the fourth quarter.
And Maurice Lloyd, I was going to key in on her. That was the chance to get the interception off the hands of J.R. Lawless. We know all about the stone hands of linebackers, and I can talk about the multiple that I know on top of my head. But when that ball's in the air, the secondary members of the defense should pick that up. But Maurice Lloyd can't pick it up, gives Baltimore possibly a second chance here.
2nd down at the Vulture 44. 10:29 to go in season 19. Wigmore drops to throw, fires down the middle, tipped away and incomplete. Arizona's everywhere. Sean Moore, Maurice Lloyd in more coverage. 3rd and long coming up for Wigmore.
That was perfectly covered down the middle of the field, and you said it, a cavalcade of Arizona defenders. You saw Eddie Gage in there, Maurice Lloyd, Jared Lawless was in there, Sean Moore backing up and trying to cover the one receiver deep. Just amazing work from Arizona on that 2nd down.
4 receivers, 3rd down and 10. 3-2 defense out of Arizona. They only rush 3. Deep throw is knocked away by Garrison. A little bit underthrown, looking for Ivory Irvin. 3 straight incompletions for Wigmore, and they get nothing off the interception.
And Baltimore kind of relying a little bit too much on Ivory Irvin in that corner route. Again, they go corner with Ivory Irvin, and this time Garrison, knowing he was getting beat, jumps up and tries to get at least something on the football. This time, gets his hands on it. Another pass deflection, 3 straight pass deflections to force Baltimore to punt this football away.
Arizona only had 2 pass deflections before that drive, now up to 5. Owens on the return has just a touch of space, not much more than that, and Arizona will start from inside their own 20 with 10-12 to go in the fourth quarter. And my goodness, Brett, what a doozy of a game. I would not have expected, even if Arizona had a chance to win this game, I would not have expected that entering the fourth quarter, Baltimore had not led in the contest.
Yeah, I would have expected, usually 9 times out of 10, I would say Baltimore would get that first drive touchdown, but this time it didn't work, and that might have been the momentum setter for Arizona.
And off to Moses, picks up 2. And remember, Brett, this Arizona team, just a month and a half ago, they lost to Jacksonville. Jacksonville won 3 games this season. And it was, we kind of didn't know what Arizona was at the time, and they seemed to be melting down. They have been a totally different team since then.
Yeah, if we go from week 12, they were 5-4, and they were looking at themselves possibly not getting free jump there, not even getting into the playoffs, let alone the championship game. And here they are now, after winning 5 in a row to get themselves to the championship game. Just a complete turnaround of philosophy, I think, as well as performance from the Scorpions.
Offside on Duncan. And so that's going to give a free 5 for Arizona. Arizona has also, speaking of Baltimore not leading, Arizona has not led by more than 7. This has been a one-score game the entire night, which is hard to do no matter what 2 teams hit the field.
That's true. A lot of these SFL games, you see 10, 14-point games out of a lot of these teams.
Moses, they're going to give him the first down. Not sure about that call. As Frank Smith wraps him up, his 3rd solo tackle, 6th overall on the night, and we may get a challenge.
Yeah, it's possible that they got 4 progression out of this. It looks like the red flag is staying in the pocket for the time being. That's a good idea. When you're down 7, timeouts are precious.
1st and 10 of the 27, 8:50 and counting. Arizona looking to bleed some clock, but Jackson staying aggressive. Jackson's in trouble and is sacked. Off the right side, Al Walker gets his 2nd sack of the night, loss of 3.
Yeah, and that is, if I'm not mistaken, the 3rd sack of the game as well, all coming in the second half. That's been great change of pace from Baltimore here and change of pursuit. Now forcing a 2nd and 13 here after getting a first down, very controversial first down.
2nd and 13, and Jackson is sacked again! A 7-yard loss. It'll set up a 3rd down and 20. It's Walker, his 3rd, and Brett. 48 offensive plays for Arizona. 25% of them have gone for a loss, and they're still winning.
And the result of that has been big plays. But going to this play alone, I got to question where Sean Crooked was, EJDQ, the right tackle on this situation. Al Walker was not touched at all coming into that play. Where was the coverage there?
Walker, all 3 sacks for Baltimore tonight after Suron Yates had 4 sacks last week on 3rd down and 20. That throw is incomplete, looking for Weston. So not only does Arizona now go 3 and out, but Baltimore flips the field with their defense. 2nd time we've seen that in this half. And the Scorpions will have to punt from their own end. And the last time we saw this early in the 3rd quarter, Baltimore was only able to get 3 out of it.
Yeah, and that was a long-winded drive as well. You got to remember that took over 5 minutes of the clock and 12 plays to get that field goal. And Arizona might be wanting that now, so Baltimore will probably have to change the pace of this if they're going to get good field position.
Punt is away. Irvin calls for a fair catch at the 47-yard line. We'll step aside. 7:44 to go in the 4th. Arizona protecting a very slim 24-17 lead. You're watching the Season 19 SFL Championship game presented by APN Music only on Next Level Sports.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
7:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Arizona protects a 24-17 lead with 7:44 to play. Brett Solberg, Cameron Irvine with you. Baltimore, the red helmets, black jerseys, white pants, and tackled in the backfield by the reddish-orange Scorpions. A loss of 2, just the second negative play for Baltimore tonight.
Yeah, and you want to talk about comparisons between these two teams. Defensively, Baltimore, a dozen tackles for losses, and now Arizona just finally getting their second. A tale of two defensive teams there.
5 wide. Wigmore going to the corner route. It is picked off. Garrison got a block. 50. Woods makes the tackle with the Baltimore 47. Those routes deep down the field have not worked for the Vultures in the second half, and Arizona's defense does it again.
And this may be the first time I'm ever saying this about the Baltimore Vultures, but this has been too predictable of a passing offense going down the stretch. Again, Wigmore looking for Ivory Irvin on a corner route down the left sideline, and Everett Garrison finds the interception this time after, I think this was the 6th attempt, exactly going corner route 15 yards down the field. This time he gets an interception. What a big moment for Everett Garrison.
Ivory Irvin now has just 4 catches on 9 targets as Jackson checks it down to Moses. Mack makes a TFL. And for Baltimore, that's their 14th of the ball game.
Oh boy, they just keep on tacking on those TFLs. But what's resulted in this 24-17 lead for Arizona? Big plays. How many times have we called 30-plus yard plays that have been huge for Arizona?
These defenses have been hammering. 7-3 is the scoring in the second half. Play fake Jackson. Jackson hit her, she threw, and nearly got it over to Todd. But Suron Yates just cleaning up back there. 3rd and long coming up. What a slugfest this has turned into.
Yeah, this second half, we're talking about big hits and big defensive plays for both these teams. Like you said, 7-3 in this second half. Both these defenses stepping up huge, and Suron Yates leading the way for Baltimore here in this second half.
Jackson down to 19 of 27, 285, 3rd and 13. They've been dialing this play up to perfection tonight, but Jackson hits. She threw, and that pass is almost intercepted by Marvin Himes. Could have taken it back the other way, but instead it's knocked down, and another punt coming.
And that's big for Baltimore after, again, throwing interception. They're not getting any setbacks from these interceptions. Both interceptions have resulted turning into Arizona punts. So Baltimore has stepped up defensively in turn for Baltimore's mistakes. I think we've got an encroachment here that'll push them up 5 yards, so it won't matter too much here.
Yeah, it won't matter much, although it could put Baltimore in a better position, Arizona in a better position to pin the Vultures inside their own 5. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 4th and 8. No harm, no foul on the offsides unless Arizona able to do something with this punt. Fair catch called for at the 12, so not quite there yet. We have not had a drive of over 7 plays in this second half, and this will be the 12th drive of the half, Brett.
Yeah, and we're looking at this here. 5 plays, 6 plays, 7 plays, end of quarter. 6 plays, 4 plays, 7 plays, 2 plays, and then the most recent one, 5 plays, 2 yards for Arizona.
5 wide again. They just are just trying to beat
the
Arizona deep. They're going corner near side. It is caught by Maxima. 45-50. One man to beat. Engage saves the touchdown. First down to the Arizona 38.
And that gets them out of their own shadow of the end zone there, starting at the 12. And how about this? flip the field, get yourself to the 38-yard line, and instead of going left, how about Wigmore goes right, tests the right side of the field, and Mac Chima, another deep threat of this Baltimore assault, comes in big, gets them into a good field position here, and there's still plenty of time left in the fourth quarter that they can even slow things down, get Warren Murray involved a little bit more here, shed that clock to tie the game.
50-yard reception for Chima. Both teams utilizing corner routes a lot tonight. Wigmore fires to the outside, deep out. Irvin caught, first down to the Arizona 25. Clock's important. Irvin says look at it, 5:51 to go. Lawless brushes him off.
Yeah, very smart play from Baltimore there to get a deep outs. We haven't seen too many deep outs from Baltimore yet. You usually see the shallow outs, maybe some shallow ends, and then those corner routes on both sides. This time they go with the deep outs, and it confuses the defense. They get the first down.
Wigmore 25 of 35, 327 yards. Back to pass, fires it short to Chima, picks up 5. Clock continues to roll, 5.5 to go in season 19.
Yeah, and it might be, Baltimore's chance to just say, you know what, screw the running. We got to go pass here because we have an effective quarterback. Jack Wigmore, he might have thrown 2 picks in this game, but he's still an ever-efficient, ever-accurate quarterback.
2nd and 5 at the Arizona 20. 7 in the box for the Scorpions. Handoff Gaines, and T-Roy near the first down. It is 3rd and 1. Gut check time.
Yeah, this is definitely gut check time here for Baltimore. This will be their 11th third down in this game. And look, how about this for third down conversions? Only 3 of 10 from both teams.
Wow.
Defense is coming in big here. Now this could be 3 of 11 or 4 of 11 for Baltimore.
3rd and 1. Handoff, wide open. Gaines, first down to the 10. Picks up 5. Clock continues to tick. Garrison again with a stop.
Yeah, and that was a perfectly done job from the offensive line to part the black and red sea of Baltimore's offensive line to give Gaines the space for that first down.
Murray just 5 carries tonight, 21 yards, now 28 yards on 10 carries for T-Roy Gaines. 1st and goal at the 10, 4:08 to play. Wigmore outside to Holder, stops the clock at the 4.
Yeah, and now they're just kind of inching themselves away here because they know that a touchdown only ties the game with an extra point. So they don't want to give Arizona enough of a chance to retake that lead and possibly win this for the Scorpions. So this is a smart move from Baltimore's coaching staff here.
Goal line look. 2 in the backfield with Wigmore, split set. Interesting call. 2nd and goal. Wigmore in trouble. Wigmore's going to be sacked. A 7-yard loss. That is the first sack of the game for Arizona, and it's Dede sacks in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's a guy you don't expect getting a sack either. Usually you go right to the name of Alex Constantine or Hunter Norwood or even Eddie Gage on the blitz attack. But this time, Dede Sachs comes in, forces a 3rd and goal from deep, 11 yards.
Another 3rd and long. If they can force a field goal, they'd force an onside kick too, most likely. But Irvin is going to get the outround and score. Touchdown, Baltimore. It's a 1-point game.
And there's the change in offense that Baltimore needed to do. After throwing that second interception again on a post route to Ivory Irvin for what felt like the 6th time in this game, they changed things up. They go with out routes on this drive, which helped them so much open the field and give that running game a little bit of life, with T-Roy Gaines getting a crucial first down to make it 1st and goal, and then backed up to your to the opponent's 11 on 3rd down, going on an out route to Irvin, wide open space. Fantastic play calling to tie the game up.
Irvin in these playoffs has been extraordinary. And Tarkington boots in the game-tying extra point. We are tied at 24 with 3:32 left in this one.
Yeah, and we're talking nail-biter here, and this is what you want to see from the 19th SFL championship game. Biting nails. Good thing we clipped our nails yesterday, Cam.
Yes, we did. Tarkington will boot it deep. First touchdown for the Vultures in the second half, and this is the 4th time this game has been tied. Owens on the return up to the 21. Ashley Jackson is 19 of 28, but it doesn't have to be all on her shoulders. DJ Moses, 16 carries, 91 yards.
If I'm Eddie Gage, head coach Eddie Gage I'm talking about now, if I'm the head coach of Arizona, I'm looking to use all of that 3:27 left, and whether it be a touchdown or a field goal, seal the deal for the Scorpions.
2 backs and 2 receivers. Hand off to Moses, and Moses gets cut up in the backfield. Manages to squeeze out a yard, but Baltimore does well in the trenches, 2nd and 9.
And I think that's what Baltimore's thinking as well. Arizona's probably looking to chew all the clock left, so they're going to force Arizona's hand into throwing the football and hope Ashley Jackson makes a mistake as well and gets her 2nd interception of the game.
Top of the screen, Weston is being pressed. They hand it off to Moses. Moses got a block, but actually looking a little worn out, and Arizona's going no huddle. What are they doing?
This is interesting. They've got 3 options with Will Todd as a tight end option.
Play fake. Jackson, 3rd and 7. It is incomplete, and Baltimore's going to get the ball back, looking for Punk. Oh, the Vultures are turning momentum.
Yeah, this is a big momentum shift here, and they've got them at their own 24-yard line, so this punt could possibly have them in great field position going into their next possession here to possibly get their first lead of the game. So you got to question what Arizona was thinking on a no huddle after a 2nd down run.
In Arizona's last 3 offensive drives, they have had 5 yards combined on those 3 drives. Punt is away. Irvin back to return from the 44, and Irvin can't get away. Only a 2-yard pickup, but Baltimore's going to be an excellent field position, and all they need is a field goal, Brett, to take their first lead of the game.
Yeah, and you have to think from Arizona's side. You've seen Wigmore throw 2 picks. He's gotten a little bit more errant with his throws and maybe a little bit more desperate as well. Those safeties have to be ready. And those corners, I'm thinking Garrison, I'm thinking Gamble, I'm thinking Parker Thomas, who we haven't talked about a lot in this game, covering really well on his guys, but he's got to get a pick too.
Wigmore down the middle of the field, almost intercepted. Gage dropped it.
And that's where we were talking about. The safeties and corners have to be ready for those throws. Again, it just feels like the nerves are getting to Jack Wigmore, and that was overthrown by at least a good 3 yards. And there is your opportunity, Eddie. You're so close to 100 picks in your career. That could have been it. That could have been it. That possibly could have been the game for Arizona too.
How many more chances will Arizona get to have at a play like that? Wigmore now down to 71.8 completion percentage. Still a QBR of over 100 despite the 2 picks. 5 wide. Wigmore to pass. Dumps it, checks it down to Gus Woods. And Woods picks up 5, but not enough for the first down. Woods and one other combined for the stop.
And again, it's that those Arizona secondary knowing what Baltimore is looking to do. All the receivers looked like it went deep, so he had to go with his check down option. They're hurrying it up here because they know they don't have much time left until the 2-minute warning.
They want to get another snap before the 2-minute. They do. 3rd down and 5. Wigmore down the middle of the field. That pass is caught. First down to the Arizona 39. They are knocking on the door dangerously to field goal range and lead-taking range. Daley Holder with the catch.
Yeah, and that's been big for them, and it seems like Baltimore's turned things around. 0 for 2 on 3rd downs in the 3rd quarter, now 2 for 4 in the 4th quarter.
2-minute warning. We're all tied in the 19th SFL Championship game. Presented by APM Music. You're watching on Next Level Sports. The final 2 coming up. Time is running out on Arizona and Baltimore. Here from beautiful Baltimore, Maryland tonight, where we are tied at 24 with 2 minutes to go. 7 catches for 138 yards for Ivory Irvin tonight. Baltimore is knocking on the door. They have not led in this game. Cameron Irvine, Brett Solberg with you. 2 receivers, 1 to either side. Wigmore going to pass. Wigmore going deep down the middle of the field. It's intercepted by Eddie Gage. 30 to the 36-yard line. Wigmore makes the tackle. We're still tied.
And it'll stay tied, like you said. And this was kind of the omen that I was thinking about when it came to Arizona's defense. You know, you had Jack Wigmore on the ropes a few times in this quarter, and Eddie Gage has done it again. Another multi-pick game. He pays dividends to the dropped interception that he had about 4 plays ago and gives Arizona one more shot to retake the lead and possibly win themselves their first championship.
Gage now 6 total tackles, 2 picks, and a pass deflection. That pass has nearly picked itself, and Arizona's offense continues to struggle in the second half, and particularly in this fourth quarter, Brett.
And we're talking fourth quarter woes. We are talking about a total of 0.5 yards per play from Arizona. They have just been locked at neutral ground, and it all is credit to the Baltimore defense, both from the line and the secondary.
4 wide, 5 in the box for Baltimore. Jackson's out of the shotgun. Jackson a pass. Going deep, it is intercepted by Elijah Mitchell. These defenses won't quit.
It's never going to end. It's tit for tat, back and forth, whether it be mishaps or big plays. And Baltimore gets probably the biggest play of them all. They get another interception from Elijah Warfield. That's another one to his trophy case. And now we flip the field over. Baltimore now has a $145 to get themselves their lead and their 4th title in 5 seasons.
Ashley Jackson is 4 of her last 14 passes. Wigmore to the sideline, nearly picked by Garrison. I have never seen anything like this, Brett. These 2 defenses are all in the heads of these offenses right now.
And the thing is, we're not even talking about 2 Joe Schmoes behind center. We're talking about Ashley Jackson, easily top 5 quarterback every season she has been in the league. And we're talking about Wiggy Dimes, Jack Wigmore, leader of men, being one of the best quarterbacks in the league as well. These ain't 2 Joe Schmoes, and we're seeing risky throws.
3 receivers, 2 in the backfield for Wigmore. Wigmore goes down the field. It's caught by Chima at the Arizona 43-yard line.
And here we are again. Baltimore creeping into Shark Tarkington range. Only a couple yards difference from their interception from earlier here. Can they get themselves moving forward and into field goal range?
Same formation, 1:13 to go. They hand it off to Gaines, and T-Roy gets right back to the 39, right where we were.
Yeah, now it's 2nd and 6. This feels like Groundhog Day all over again here. We're at the 39. Are they going to throw it down the middle of the field? Are they going to throw a corner route? Are we going to see the same thing over and over again? But it looks like Baltimore's playing smart. They got 2 on the right.
46 seconds. Wigmore hit as he threw. He had a wide open Lloyd Graham Jr. What a play from D.D. Sachs, 3rd down.
Yeah, and that defensive line of Arizona has to be big. One more time for the Scorpions here. We're talking 6 of 13 on 3rd down for Baltimore, 3 of their last 4. If they convert here, we're talking possible field goal situation for Shark Tarkington.
4 wide, 3rd and 6. 44 seconds left. Both teams
on your bottom.
Still have all 3 timeouts. Going to Chima down the field. It's intercepted at the 15-yard line, and Arizona takes it away again.
I have never seen this in my SFL broadcasting career where 2 quarterbacks fighting to get the lead have just crumbled under the pressure. Again, Jack Wigmore overthrows his receiver, and it leads to a pick again, his 4th of this game. How often do you say Jack Wigmore and 4 interceptions in the same sentence? Tell me, Cam, tell me.
Brett, there were 4 incompletions in the first half. There have been 6 interceptions in the second half. First and 10 at the Arizona 24-yard line. 39 seconds left. Play fake Jackson. Jackson steps up in the pocket. The pass is knocked away. 4 for her last 15 passes. Second down.
And Marvin Himes, once again, we could have been talking tit for tat again. Play after play, pick after pick. Are we in the SFL championship game, or are we in the Oprah Winfrey show?
19 plays for 5 yards on the last 5 Arizona drives. 2nd and 10 in a still tied game. Jackson to pass. Checks it down to Moses, going backwards and runs out of bounds and stops the clock after a 2-yard loss.
Hey, make that 20 plays and 3 yards now for Arizona. It's looking even worse for them. But now on a 3rd and 12, 30 ticks left on the game clock. Season on the line for both teams. You have to think, I'm feeling TJ Punk deep down the field. He's on the bottom of your screen. Watch for him.
Defended by Warfield. Looks like man coverage against the board. We'll see what they do. With Jackson out of the gun, they bring a blitz. Jackson going long down the field. It's knocked up in the air and incomplete. They'll have to punt it away.
Wow. This is becoming a defensive masterclass from both these teams in this second half. From what it felt like the over-under going to be shattered in this game, 62.5. We might not even get to 55 at the end of all this, and we might be getting some extra time with all this, defense stepping up on both sides.
Baltimore going to get real good field position. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts. And a fair catch called for by Irvin at his own 44 with 19 seconds left.
And you have to think, it's only maybe 35 yards of total offense that Baltimore needs to move down the field to get Shark Tarkington a field goal. Now we're thinking field goal. 19 seconds left. This is the game, Baltimore. Are you going to step up or step back?
19 seconds left. What a fourth quarter. 1st and 10 at the 44. Neither of these defenses want to give it up. Wigmore hit as he threw. The pass is caught at the 41. 42, check that. Timeout Baltimore with 15 seconds to go.
Only 4 seconds off that clock there. Good movement. Got themselves a 13-yard gain on that play into enemy territory. Now all they really need to think of now is 1 first down. 1 first down gets them into field goal range, but they would love to get 6 out of this.
This is the 3rd straight time they have been able to have an opportunity to get a first down to get a field goal. Will this be the charm for Jack Wigmore? 15 seconds left, 1st and 10 at the 42. 4 wide. Wigmore, pressure, throws it out to Irvin. The pass is caught at the 39. Again at the 39, Brett.
You've got to be kidding me. It is Groundhog Day in Baltimore. It's the 3rd straight time, 11 seconds left. This is shades of Arizona in their quarterfinal game, if I'm not mistaken. With 11 seconds left, you have to think 56-yarder.
Oh, they're going to kick it. They are going to kick it. Shark Tarkington, 263 of 269 in his career. From 55 yards to put Baltimore ahead. And Tarkington's kick is no good. He's short with 7 seconds left.
Wow. And you heard me right away. I thought that was good from the get-go. I didn't see a football get kicked higher than what Shark Tarkington did. But I don't know what happened, if there was just no juice left in the tank on that football, but it ends up being short. 7 seconds. Hail Gary for Arizona. This is your shot.
That's a little surprising. I thought they may have tried to get into field goal range, but Jackson is going to have some time. That ball is a floater, and it is intercepted. They better tackle. Stacking paper is wrapped up at the 35. Unbelievable. We are going to overtime. I have never seen a fourth quarter with better defense in my life.
Yeah, we're talking about an Arizona team that only had 8 yards total in the fourth quarter. And despite the 140 from Baltimore, here we are still tied.
24-24. Quick refresh of overtime rules. First team to score wins. This coin toss could be huge. Arizona will call it. Jackson's calling heads.
What is the call? Give us heads.
It's tails. Baltimore will get the football.
Now it's step-up time for Arizona's defense. They need to make a statement to give the Scorpions a chance to get this football back, shed everything that happened in the fourth quarter off, one drive to get themselves in the end zone. But for Baltimore, you want to end things quickly because you are rolling offensively. 244 yards in this second half, 219 of them passing yards. So rely on Wigmore despite the 4 interceptions.
Irvin on the return. Got to wrap that guy up to the 28-yard line. And Brett, look this up for me real quick. You said 244 yards for Baltimore in the second half?
244. It was 104 in the third. 125.
And they still have not given up the lead. In this,
no,
it's
and
just crazy.
It's been amazing work just negating any forward movement from Baltimore. They're getting stopping interceptions by Eddie Gage.
First and 10 of the 28, but this offense for Arizona has really let their defense down. Back out there on the field, Warren Murray gets the first catch of overtime, a 6-yard pickup.
And that's good. They have the momentum set here. They're not going to rely on just going deep down the field. They can slow things down a little bit here to get themselves down the field. It's not like overtime is, a quick 1-minute overtime. You've got 11 minutes again to go down the field as long as you want and get into the proper range to either kick a field goal or just score outright.
2nd and 4. Boy, look at the amount of space that Irvin has to the top of the screen. They hand it off to Murray. Warren Murray past midfield. His first big run of the whole night. His previous long was 7. And Baltimore's right back inside the Arizona 40.
And could this be a change of things to come? They're no longer at the 39. Guess what? They're at the 38. So maybe this will change the tide for Baltimore's woes here in this situation, and they can get themselves the score that they need. What a big play from Warren Murray. We've been waiting for it all night.
This is the 5th straight drive Baltimore has been inside the Arizona 40. 1st and 10. Spot route holder that is caught in field goal range. 5-yard gain.
Yeah, that'll make it a 52-yarder. If I'm not mistaken, it'll be 50 or 47 if I'm not mistaken.
50.
From
split the difference.
Yeah, it'll be 50. Yeah, split the difference on that one. I can't do math right now because I'm sweating in the booth here. I'm having such a great time with you, Cam. I don't want this game to end.
It's been a crazy game. Somebody has got to win it. Arizona's on the ropes. His defense is gassed. Murray is hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain by Eddie Gage. 3rd and 5. There's no way I'm throwing this ball if I'm Baltimore, right? Although Tarkington did just miss. This is a much easier field goal for him.
No chance for me if I'm Jack Wigmore. I'm not throwing the football. I'm handing this off to Chiroy Gaines. He's the guy that can get you at least the 5 yards to the first down, if not at least a couple.
3rd and 5 at the 34. A tackle for loss will be detrimental. They're going to pass out to Murray. Murray's got yardage. Murray's got a first down. Baltimore's knocking on the door.
And that's big there. That's what we've been waiting for from Warren Murray all game. It just seemed like he was starting to get going in the third quarter, and then he didn't get that many touches in that fourth quarter. Only 11 rushing yards in the fourth quarter for Baltimore out of that. Now getting himself involved here. Big moments for the Vultures.
1st and 10 of the 27. Baltimore's got to be careful with the football. On the opening possession of overtime, Wigmore going to throw. Wigmore sacked! Back at the 33-yard line, they go backwards.
Yeah, and that's going to push them back to the 50 again if it's a field goal situation. And there's the guy I've been looking for, Hunter Norwood, to make himself a statement.
Unbelievable. 2nd and 16. Baltimore nearly 500 yards of offense. 8:20 to go in overtime, although its first score wins. Wigmore going deep. It is knocked away, but not intercepted by Garrison.
Oh.
3rd and long.
And they go with that post route on the left side to Ivory Irvin. And Garrison has learned. He got an interception out of it, too. Actually, he went goes route with Irvin this time going deep. He turned on the Jets, but Garrison was ready for that one. He was looking for pick the entire time. And it get just off his right palm. So close from changing momentum.
Well, any kind of positive play here for Baltimore basically puts you in Tarkington's automatic range. But they got it.
Boy.
They're going 4 wide. They cannot take a sack, cannot have a negative play. 3rd and long. Baltimore stays aggressive. Back to pass, going deep. It is intercepted. There's a flag. They threw a flag. It may be a first down for Baltimore on a PI.
This could be it. Yeah, if it's not Everett Garrison, we're looking at the second guy that was going through. Is that it?
Oh, a face mask on the return. No, it's called on Arizona. Maurice Lloyd with a face mask. Where?
I gotta check where that's coming from here.
Oh, after the interception.
After the interception.
Oh, what a costly mistake. Now, if that's after the interception, that's still Arizona ball. No, they're giving it to Baltimore. 1st and 10. They said it happened simultaneously, and Tarkington can win the game.
That has to be a controversial finish, no matter what you see it. The field is going to be 50-50 split, whether that was before or after the interception. But nonetheless, Shark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh, my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their 3rd straight title. Oh, my goodness. I've seen it all.
Yeah, just when you think you saw everything in the SFL, they somehow managed to give yourself another reason to keep watching and keep staying in this league. Congratulations to Baltimore. As much as things change in this league, they stay the same. 4 titles in 5 years. What a dynasty.
Wow. Arizona gave them all they could handle, but their offense really let them down in the second half. Just could not get anything going. And finally, Brett, the dam broke, and it comes on a controversial call.
Yeah, and if you want to avoid this situation at all entirely, Arizona, you had to perform in the 4th quarter. And 8 yards in the 4th quarter ain't gonna cut it in the championship game. Baltimore shut you down entirely. They tied the game up. You had a few opportunities to get back in this game. Eddie Gage gifted the offense with 2 key interceptions to get themselves in the position to get the lead back and win the game, and they couldn't do it, and it just felt like it was inevitable for Baltimore to win this game. Controversial call or not, but nonetheless, congratulations to Arizona on a fantastic game, a fantastic season, one that will never be forgotten in the history of the Arizona Scorpions, and Baltimore is going to celebrate once again.
That may have not been the best game in SFL history, Brett, but that was the most drama-filled, action-packed 4th quarter of a championship. I mean, this whole crowd just on pins and needles the entire game.
Absolutely. And 20 years from now, you can make a biopic of this game, documenting the season of Arizona from, not say from obscurity, but from being a question mark from making the playoffs to getting to this moment in the championship game and being 3 points away. And it all led to maybe an incidental face mask, maybe not an incidental face mask from Maurice Lloyd, the playoff veteran, and they give Baltimore the game, whether or not you like the call. And yeah, drama-filled it is. Probably the most drama-filled game since season 9 semifinals between Vancouver and Mexico City?
You had to sneak that in there. Baltimore wins their 4th championship, tying the Queen City Corsairs with the most championships by a franchise. They beat 4 different teams, Sioux Falls, Lone Star, Florida, and Arizona, to win those titles. Coincidentally, Queen City also beat 4 different teams to win their 4 titles. And despite a heroic effort by Arizona's defense, the offense just could not get it going. More pressure, longest highlight reel in league history. And it just goes to show you how action-packed and action-filled this game was.
Yeah, and the score doesn't show it. Most people would say, 27-24. Yeah, 27-24. Yeah, that's so tough. It's simultaneous, and you can make a call for either or on that one. And regardless of the fact, that's got to be a heartbreaker for Arizona.
Player of the game in a wild game, Ivory Irvin, 8 catches, 152 yards, and 3 touchdowns. The dude dominated the last 2 weeks of this regular season, or of this postseason, I should say. Wow, an incredible game. Our studio analysts will be back to wrap things up quickly after the break. Baltimore wins their 4th title. What a way to win it.
Very.
Wow, that's the only way I can describe this. What an incredible finish. Baltimore getting their 3rd straight SFL title. They beat Arizona 27-24 in overtime in a bit of a controversial fashion. Let's go right into it. Mike, Tyler, what were your thoughts on this second half and this game overall?
Yeah, incredible finish, Ethan. As you mentioned, controversial for sure, but all credit to the Baltimore defensive line. They stepped up big time in that second half, and the defense as a whole. Al Walker with 3 big sacks. Sir Ron Yates had a sack, I think, in there as well. And then when they weren't getting sacks, they were really getting pressure on Ashley Jackson. Pretty much shut that Arizona offense down. So all credit to them. Controversial ending or not, they held Arizona's offense in check, and that's why they ended up winning this game.
And that penalty is going to be the talking point going through this entire offseason, probably for seasons to come, on how this championship game ended. But Brett Solberg made a fantastic point. 8 yards in the 4th quarter, that is not going to cut it in this championship game. Like you were talking about, Mike, the Baltimore defense stepped up in a tremendous way. Both defenses, I think, played outstanding. Both teams, I think, deserve this championship game. This was a title game that was well-deserved by both clubs. for sure demonstrated their ability here this evening. And it has to be said, congratulations to the Baltimore Vultures. They not only tie Queen City for the most championships in league history, but they tie the record of 3 straight championships set by the Alaska, now Florida Storm.
Yeah, it's a fantastic effort from Baltimore. Great commiserations to Arizona. They definitely deserve to be here. They deserve to have a shot. But you know what? It's motivation fuel for next season. And next season is going to be coming up in January 2023 here on Next Level Sports. We're going to be looking forward to that. A lot of exciting stuff going to be happening in the offseason. We're going to take a breather on decompress everything on this one. But, oh, man, what a great way to finish the season. 27-24, your final here in overtime. Baltimore gets their 3rd in a row. Arizona's got fuel for next season. For everybody here on my right side, for Mike St. Green, Tyler Falk, to Cameron Irvine, Brett Stolberg in the booth, and everybody else in the SFL staff, this has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League presented by 8 PM Music here on Next Level Sports. We'll see you next season, everybody.